Hey everyone, I'm here again with Jesse Townsend, a personal trainer at Parkway Athletic Club in Reno, Nevada. Hey Jesse, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Steve.
So let's talk about how to get lean. Now, there's a number of strategies, but there's also some common things that people do. Let's say they have a wedding or they want to look good for something, event or something that they're doing in the summer, or maybe they're doing a bodybuilding show or a physique show or something like that, but they want to look their best. And obviously it's not going to be permanent. So let's say somebody wants to get as lean as possible or cut for that event. Go ahead and we let's just talk about some of the strategies that people use. So go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it can be a little bit different depending on, what it is that they're shooting at, right? So, to be responsible, with your health and concerning that. If it's something like a wedding and I have a client who's preparing for something like that or any type of occasion or event that might be coming up, with that, what I'm going to first do is to obviously talk about most important thing with them. And that's going to be not gym time at that point, but food time, kitchen time. So that's kind of where it's all going to start for everybody trying to lean up. And again, regardless of what it is that you're trying to track down and accomplish, it's going to start in the kitchen. So I'll talk with people, and first I'll try to figure out, what is going to work, for them in the sense of their day a little bit, time that they have. Are they working a normal job? They don't have, many breaks that are in that job, or are they open to do kind of whatever? Either way, we're going to talk about meal prep. Now, the time frame that I have on this obviously makes difference too. Sometimes people will come and say, hey, Jesse, or to my staff and my other trainers here on my team, hey, I want to lean up in, a month. And, I've got this going on. Or I've had a person recently say, I'm going to Hawaii, in 3 weeks, and they just signed up for a package and they know nothing about working out and they don't know too much about, proper food habits and or supplements or anything else. So obviously that'll change a little bit too. But in a nutshell, we're going to start with the food, and, we're going to go from, basically what I think they can manage in a day based on what is going to fit into their workspace and their home life and things like that. I'll challenge them, obviously, to do some things that they have not done probably in this process, most likely for people. If you've not leaned up before and you've not put yourself on that type of program, you'll have to, quickly adjust to it, meaning your carbohydrates are probably going to shoot down extremely low, lower than what you're used to. That's the thing most people will talk about, when they're going and getting ready, either for show or anything where you reduce your carbohydrates to a good amount, right? So for men, I'm probably going to try to shoot at a carbohydrate number that is right around 100 carbs a day to begin with. And I might shoot that down. It depends again on the time frame. I might shoot that down in the last month, to 50 carbs a day or less. It kind of depends on, again, what I have in time with that. So with women, I'm going to go for, under 100 grams of carb per day. So I might shoot to something like 80 grams of carbs a day, split in between a few meals. And protein count is going to stay really high. We're still going to keep that up because as we're cutting these carbohydrates and, body's not going to have too much energy, you still need that protein to hold that muscle. And as you're going to get rid of some of that body fat and excess water weight, hopefully through this process too, we're going to go ahead and keep that protein really high. And that's probably number one focus is protein high, carbs low, male or female, regardless of, what it is that you're challenging yourself to get prepared for. That's going to stay pretty much the same. Good fats in there. Now, some people will play with this in their diets and, they'll maintain either a number of good and healthy fats in a day. For me, when I talk to people about macronutrients, Again, if it's a regular person just doing and preparing for a life event, good fats and healthy fats is something maybe they don't quite even understand yet as far as what are those and what do I have access to. So with them, I'll focus more on the protein high, the carbohydrate low, and then I might give them, some fats just to help with the energy balance and the exchange. But usually if you haven't had good fats or healthy fats help support your energy or use them as energy through your body process and from, diet aspect, then it takes a little while to adjust until your good fats are going to give you that energy if you release those carbohydrates or drop them down, really low. So there's some things that take place there. You can also talk about people that are doing contests or shows. You're going to talk in a process of what are they going to do with their water. There is a load that might take place for people that are doing shows, and they call it, like the water trick, or basically the way to take in a bunch of water in a consumption process. You want to do this within about like a 7. I've even done an 8-day process before. Again, prep for show, prep for any kind of, body contest that you're getting ready for. And everyone's a little bit different with this too. So you have to kind of know your body and maybe go through it a couple times before you really nail this. But usually what is explained in this is you're going to go ahead and take in a bunch of fluids. You're going to consume, maybe starting with, if you're less than half a gallon a day already, you might try a half a gallon on day 1. Day 2, you're probably going to go up to a gallon. Day 3, you're probably going to go to like 1.5 gallons. That's about as far as I'm going to take it with people. A lot of people will go to 2 gallons, and I've heard that being done before. I think that's a little much for the body. And again, when you're doing these things, you're going to be putting your body through so much stress. That's what you have to, understand before you get in these processes, because for a show, if you're going to compete with people that are at the highest level of physique and highest level of bodybuilding or whatever you're chasing, you're probably going to put yourself through, again, this water, consumption, and then, basically dehydration process that follows. If you're not, again, for life stuff, probably you leave this part out and just go with the diet. So, but on that water trick, you're going to go up real high in water within a few days. And then the last days, like the last 3 to 4 days that are in that process, you're basically going to start by taking that water from that 1.5 gallon mark. You're going to go back down to that 0.5 gallon on that next day that follows, which would be, I think, day 4. And then on day 5, you're down to, like only about maybe 20 ounces. And then day 6, if the show would be on day 7, day 6 is they say 0 fluids. I would let people have capfuls, or myself when I would do it, I would have capfuls of fluids if I had to wet my mouth. But that is the way that, you prepare for something like that. So pretty extreme, not ultra healthy for the body, even bodybuilders, if you watch them and pay attention to some of the stuff, some of these guys that have, Mr. Olympia contest won over and over again, they'll tell you that, that process is extremely unhealthy. Even the body fat percentages they're at is not something that is healthy for the average person. So, so in a nutshell, that's probably the most of what you would grasp in what you got to do.
And you said something really important. We're not trying to be healthy here, because this is not healthy and this is not a lifestyle, nor should it be. What are your goals? Let's go back to the wedding or the beach day that you're going to have, and you want to impress somebody, or you're doing a photo shoot. In that case, how much time do you have? Is it a month? Well, you have to be within range. This has to be realistic. You can't say, I want to lose 70 pounds for my wedding next month. No, that won't work. And you're right, this isn't healthy. And the tricks with the water, and there's also carb loading and all that stuff. Now, the first thing that happens for someone, you mentioned getting rid of the carbs. Well, usually if people are going to be serious about this, the fat's going to go too. Now, obviously you need some because of the essential fatty acids, but you're going to be eating mostly protein. And usually you're looking at a target date of maybe 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out. And so you have to be in range. You can't go from 30 pounds overweight to shredded in a month, because you're going to lose maybe 5 pounds and be shredded. So you got to look at your goals, and you got to look at all that stuff too. So And again, it's not, we're not going for health here. We're just going for a temporary look. And then you get back to your lifestyle that you can maintain. So appreciate your input as always, Jesse. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Steve.